I swear there was a time where I got into love and light spirituality and shit, and like I got out of religion when I was 15 years old at a very difficult and dark time in my life. And there's like a freedom with that. There's like an inherent sweetness and joy with it, because my beliefs became so bitter and nihilistic. And then there was a time I got into astrology once again, but then by default, I got fascinated with the tarot readers on YouTube, and they try to use astrology, but they do like love and light spirituality and Christian shit. And I kind of got sucked back into it for a minute, and I realized I started to fucking hate my fucking life. And I felt scared of everything. I felt like I needed to reject everything and like live in la la land and like feel sorry for myself, and like I felt weak. I felt like I was getting weak. But then I've just recently, in the past year, I've started to really love gloomy weather again. Like when I drive home at night, I just feel so fascinated by the darkness in the sky and the mystery of it, and the inherent kind of taboo fixation that comes with darkness in general, and the witchiness of like the moon and the night and all that stuff that I would have been encouraged to renounce as evil and be terrified of and recoil inwards and avoid if I was still listening to that fucking contemporary Christianity love and light bullshit. Also, tell me why the most evil people I've ever met are Christians, contemporary Christians who never actually read the fucking Bible. But anyway, I started paying attention more to the weather. I hate bright and sunny days. I hate the summer. I hate it. It gives me anxiety. And I really love gloomy weather. I love when it rains. I love when the sky is gray. And you're not encouraged to be outside, and then I go outside anyway. Sometimes I really love the winter too, like the bitter cold, because I just love that winter just fucking kills everything. Maybe it's because I've reached my window of tolerance, like my threshold with how much like, love and light, like the sunshine, all that shit that I can handle. But I was also thinking, I was really into philosophy for a while. And I watched a documentary today about Nietzsche, the same documentary that I really loved when I was like 18 and 19. And it was about like how we should embrace hardship. We should embrace all of life. We shouldn't shy away from it. And we should, I hate the word should, because I hate anything that makes me feel like I have to do something and be influenced. I think he had a quote or something like he wished illness and misfortune and hardship and rejection and humiliation on people that he actually cared about, because it builds resilience. I came across that documentary from the School of Life, I think. And one of the reasons I stopped watching the School of Life, or when I watch it once in a blue moon these days, I quickly don't even want to fucking listen to it, because they kind of fell off. They kind of started adapting this weak, entitled, like, vibe. Like, I watched one video and it said that instead of embracing our darker thoughts, we should take medication. Some of their posts are just wildly... It's clearly not Elaine DeBotton who's writing that shit. It's clearly somebody else. I didn't like their posts also about the 10 things you should look for in a partner, and all of them are things very idealistic, unrealistic, things we should look for in a partner, aka choose the partner who makes you struggle the least emotionally, who challenges you the least, who is the most perfect, and from a therapist point of view, the most healthy. And I think, damn, if I was with a partner like that, I wouldn't feel alive. I would feel like I'm regressing. Like, I like philosophy that gives consolation through embracing hardship, through embracing that life fucking sucks, that embraces the possibility, the very nihilistic possibility that life is just fucking torture and life fucking sucks and there's no God and there's no salvation, and you may die like Kierkegaard at 40 years old with no bitches, with a spinal disease, or you may die like Nietzsche and be a hermit. You have to leave society and go live in a cabin because you can't tolerate humanity, and every bitch rejects you. The bitches that you wanted rejected you because of your mustache, and then you go crazy and the syphilis you got makes you become a vegetable for 11 years, and then you die under the care of your sister, who's the last person you want to be with if you actually have a will to power. But I think I liked Nietzsche's stuff so much. I ran his birth chart. He was a Libra, and I am a Libra rising, and he had a Sagittarius moon, and I'm a Sagittarius sun, and he had a Virgo Venus and Mars, and I have a Virgo moon. So it's just like, I'm just reading alternative versions of things that apply to me, that kind of suit my temperament. Like, I like philosophy. I have anxiety, and it never ends. Ever. It just takes on different forms. Like, sometimes it's just like I can catch myself and snap out of it, but other times I have OCD that I'm not even, I can't. It manifests as paranoia, all kinds of shit. When I read shit that makes me want to shrink inwards and reject the human experience and reject hardship, and then not see everything as something I can learn from and like use to become more resilient or experience, and instead I'm encouraged to adapt some kind of comfort driven love and light, numbing way of life. I become very fearful in general. I become very avoidant. I become very judgmental and just small-minded. I cripple myself. I think that's what it does. And unfortunately, in Western society, even though we're very corrupt, maybe we don't have the same level of sex trafficking and child labor that fucking Asia does, but the Western society is very corrupt. Yet in Western society, look around. Everything's about consumerism and a false positive attitude. There's so many fucking people. I studied psychology in college, and so I would I would seek out people like on Twitter and stuff who are into psychology. So much of it is quote unquote positive psychology. I'm a positive psychologist. I'm a life coach, blah, blah, blah. And it's just fake positivity. There's something so relieving about embracing the more difficult come on, bitch. The more dark, uncomfortable side of life. Because there's a sense of strength. Like, I think it does something for us primally when we embrace hardship or we embrace challenges that are actually challenging us. that when we come to terms with our own immorality and we can actually embrace it and not hide behind religion. This is why I like Satanism. There's less of a split consciousness. It feels more integrated. What time is it? But anyway, I work in an assisted living place, and it's not advertised as a religious place, but they have a whole chapel and a lot of people are religious. I'm still finding ways to deal with, if not outright admit that I just don't like the most immoral fucking people, the most demanding, draining, hateful, unintegrated, and oppressive clients I've ever had at this place are the ones who have a picture of fucking Jesus hanging in their room. The ones who wear rosaries everywhere they go. The ones who are always praying to God all the time. All this to say, I want to stop. It gives me anxiety to avoid things that are difficult and hard. And it's definitely not good for me to embrace a philosophy or a spiritual way of life where I'm avoiding hardship and denying that I feel a lot of dark emotions and a lot of dark impulses. And denying that I want certain things for myself that are seen as unholy or whatever. And the humiliation that I may not even get them, but I still want them. I want to be sexier than I am now. I want to be richer than I am now. I want to be a fucking homewrecker for at least 3 men's marriages. And I don't give a fuck. I want to be I'm a whore, but I'm just a celibate whore. It never ends though. Anyway, all this to say, I want to start reading Nietzsche again. He inspired the fuck out of me. Do you know, he talked about embracing envy and embracing all these things that religion teaches us to let atrophy about ourselves so that we can be more holy and meek, and God loves the meek and the humble. Drive past me, bitch. This bitch is just stopping here in the fucking parking lot right next to me, like staring at me. You dumb bitch. Anyway, he talked about embracing envy and not even acting like you don't feel jealousy or you don't feel these hard emotions. Do you know how horny and lonely and inferior and all that shit he must have felt living in that fucking log cabin? He couldn't get the bitch he wanted. You know how much that must have sucked? And even if I went there, if I went back in time in my time machine and I busted it open, I went in his fucking cabin and fucked him crazy, it wouldn't have even been me that he wanted. I felt so jealous. Like, that bitch that he wanted, she's not shit compared to me. Like, I could have fixed all that. I could have saved... And yes, when I was 19, I had at least 10 of his books on my bookshelf. And after school, I didn't hang out with people. I didn't go on a date. I would read that shit with a fire in my eyes. Like, if I could have just... If I just had his location back then, I could have fixed that. Anyway, I got this perfume called Evil Temptress. And I'm gonna keep wearing it. Oh, here's that old fat, dumbass old man walking past my car right now. And he pulled his truck out of the parking spot the other day and said something to me. Fuck you. Fat bitch. Anyway, I already clocked in for work, even though I'm sitting in my car. Because I want as much money as possible, doing as little work as possible. Just like the clients here want as much free labor and forgiveness and graciousness and forgiveness from God, while simultaneously remaining old, bitter, sinful hags who don't take care of their health, who want me to do everything for them. They want me to clean their fucking toilets for them. So I'm not going to do that. You can do it yourself, bitch. A lot of old, bitter hags here. They have a lot of repressed lesbian impulses. So because of that, someone like me walks in. An androgynous god with a lip ring. I know the impact I have on women. I look at myself in the mirror. I know. Even if I don't try, I know. I'm not stupid. I walk in and they immediately repress and deny their darker sexual impulses towards me. So they just go out of their way to try to get as much free labor as me from possible, like calling me when I'm with another client to do blood pressure. Go to their room and do blood pressure when I'm not getting paid to see them. Trying to start little arguments and shit with me as if you're my girlfriend. Trying to just all this shit that I can tell is... Anyway, all this to say, religious people, especially contemporary Christians, the love and light contemporary Christians, there's a reason they have to be into that shit. And they would be better off watching that documentary about Nietzsche. They would be better off reading some of Kierkegaard's work. Who was that other guy? I know there was one philosopher. He was a French philosopher. When I listened to his philosophy, I felt like there was lead in my bones. I felt so fucking depressed. Who was it? It wasn't Bukowski. It was Emile Cioran. It was spelled funny. Cioran. Something like that. I need to read some of his stuff.